What is good, Raider Nation? It's your boy Raider Alex back with yet another video for you guys. Anybody that's new to the channel, you guys love Raiders related content just like this, make sure to like, comment, subscribe to the channel. That being said, let's jump right into the topic of this video. The Las Vegas Raiders have made some moves and we also lost a couple players, so let's talk about it. First, the Raiders signed another depth piece on defense. We signed former Rams cornerback David Long to a one-year deal. Now look, I'm fine with us just getting depth at the cornerback position specifically, especially since in this year's NFL draft, it is absolutely loaded with talent at the cornerback position. Look, there's a good chance that the Raiders can even draft a cornerback with our first round pick. So look, this year is definitely the year you want to invest some draft capital to try to find your next #1 shutdown corner of the future. Personally, in the draft at number 7, if Jalen Carter isn't there on defense, then I could most definitely see us taking a quarterback at number 7. At that point, I would strongly consider Devon Witherspoon, and I think he should be available at number 7. Now look, the good thing about David Long, this signing, is he is a young cornerback. He's only 24 years of age, and he plays better in press man-to-man coverage. And the Raiders with Patrick Graham, look, he likes to run a fair amount of man-to-man coverage. But of course, this signing, look, he's not a game changer whatsoever. But look, with this signing, I'm cool with. But also, I really hope we can go ahead and re-sign our cornerback Rock Ya-Sin. Look, Rock Ya-Sin is still on the open market. He's overall a solid player. Look, he's not a game changer either. But look, as your number 2 cornerback on the depth chart, I really like him in that role. He's really good at tackling. He's a physical cornerback. He's pretty decent in man-to-man coverage. So look, if we do this and we draft a stud cornerback, a potential shutdown corner in this year's draft, I'm definitely okay with this, because to me, the cornerback position is really a young man's game. Ideally, you don't want too many people that are old cornerbacks on your roster. But in other news, the Raiders linebacker, or should I say former linebacker, Denzel Perryman will no longer be a Raider next season. He has signed with the Houston Texans. And look, it's unfortunate. I would have liked to see Denzel Perryman return to the silver and black. And I will say this linebacker core at the current state definitely has concerned me at this point in time. Look, at this current moment, we have not upgraded at this position whatsoever. Look, I would have liked to sign a clear upgrade and a guaranteed starter going into next season at the linebacker position. Look, the Raiders could still do that with a guy like Bobby Wagner. Me personally, I don't think it's going to happen. And sure, you can still go ahead and draft a linebacker. We have a lot of draft picks in this year's NFL draft. But look, I think at the linebacker position specifically and defensive line, specifically at D tackle spot, we need production as soon as possible, and signing a proven veteran gives you just that. And overall, our linebacker core is very young, so I think if we could have brought in a good veteran linebacker, that would have just been ideal for me. Also, speaking of players that will no longer be a Raider, my quick condolences and prayers go out to our tight end Foster Moreau, who has been forced to step away from the game of football. He was diagnosed with some type of cancer, I believe, and this has forced him to retire. And you know, that definitely sucks because he was still very young, and it would have been nice to see him get a shot, an opportunity to be a starter somewhere else in the National Football League, but unfortunately that will not happen for him. So look, once a Raider, always a Raider. Shout out to Foster Moreau for his time as a Raider. But in other news, last but not least, I think the Raiders most definitely made a sneaky grab, going ahead and signing tight end Austin Hooper from the Tennessee Titans. His contract is very cheap as well. A 1-year, $2.75 million contract. I think it's a budget for him at this point in time. I really like this signing because, look, I think Austin Hooper will be a better fit for this type of offense with the Josh McDaniels system than Darren Waller was. And yes, look, Darren Waller overall is a better player than Austin Hooper, but I think Austin Hooper, as I said, he's a better fit. He's more versatile in the fact that he can actually run block. I think McDaniels definitely wants a tight end that can do both those things. We all know Darren Waller was banged up with injuries the last 2 seasons. So overall, I think it's actually a good move. As I mentioned, Austin Hooper, he can do a little bit of everything, and I think he will most definitely contribute to this offense. I think he will do well next year. And another thing to keep in mind, with him having the ability to be good in run blocking, and with our offensive line last season, look, at times we were actually pretty dominant against the run. Not so much in pass protection, but against the run we were very effective. There's a reason why Josh Jacobs was able to lead the league in rushing yards last season. And with us getting a tight end that's good at run blocking, this could very well mean that we continue this whole smash mouth football strategy, running the rock with Josh Jacobs. And really, I think that's a very good idea. I think this is the way we need to build our team at this point in time with Jimmy Garoppolo at the quarterback position. We need to be a run first, play action type of offense. And I wanted us to really beef up this defense, which I think that's where we have been dropping the ball in this free agency period, in my personal opinion. And look, sure, we have signed a lot of depth pieces, but look, at this point in time, I don't think you can really make an argument that this defense has really improved in terms of talent whatsoever. But look, we can still make some moves in this year's NFL draft. I will say, having a great team on paper doesn't always translate to a winning record, but I will say too, look, I'm not super confident about this defense and moving forward next season unless we just completely hit this draft out of the park. One of the main reasons why I wanted us to get a bridge quarterback like Jimmy Garoppolo on a cheap deal is because I wanted to bolster this defense. I wanted to have a dominant defense. I think really that's what we're going to need to be able to compete with the Kansas City Chiefs and the AFC in general. Now look, I'm hoping for the best for Dave Ziegler and his franchise moving into the draft this season, but we will just have to see. As I said, the Raiders will have to knock it out of the park in this year's draft. But overall, I think the Raiders on offense have made good, sneaky, under the radar moves. And I think the signing of tight end Austin Hooper is another one of those sneaky moves. Also, keep in mind the Raiders can still go ahead and draft the tight end in this year's NFL draft. This draft class is really loaded with a lot of good talent at the tight end position. So we can definitely draft somebody to be the future of this position. But for now, having Austin Hooper will be just fine. But Raider Nation, let me know in the comment section down below, what do you guys think of the moves being made today? Let me know. But with that being said, Raider Nation, that's all I have for you guys in today's video. Anybody that's new to the channel, you guys love Raider related content just like this, make sure to like, comment, subscribe to the channel. That being said, I will see you guys in the next one.